Hey guys, this is Gamer Cow. Welcome to another Touhou Lost Branch of Legend playthrough. We're officially on version 1.3.11 now, which is the version I played for the Churno run in the beta branch. It has now been updated as the actual full release version, so that's pretty cool. Means that the shop stuff is locked in, and all the rebalance, rework stuff is available to everyone now, even if they don't play the beta stuff, which is great. So, we're moving on to the B-type shots now, so we're on the right-hand side over here. And Reimu B... Oh boy, Reimu B used to be probably the worst character in the game. At least it felt like it, because her spell card, it's still not amazing, but it used to be really bad. And her Shining Exhibit is really not good either. But with the reworks that we've had to cards recently, as well as a buff given to her bomb, she is probably still the worst, but it's not by a lot at this point. And I've had more successful runs with her recently than I have even with Sakia, so maybe it's okay now. Her bomb does an interesting collection of traits here. You only do 10 damage with it, which is annoying, to be honest, because that's usually what bombs are good for, is doing a bunch of damage. But you apply 2 weak to each enemy, so you make them do 30% less damage, and you gain 15 barrier as well. Now, if you remember from the very first run that I did, a lot of Reimu's white cards especially do bonus stuff with barrier being in play. So you're clearly meant to be the defense-oriented setup here. That's all that it used to do, but now it adds a Ying-Yang Orb to the hand as well, because Reimu B has been given more of a focus on her Ying-Yang stuff. So she can actually do quite a lot with that. It's surprisingly good. Her starting exhibit is effectively useless. If you have any unspent mana at the end of a turn, you gain 3 barrier. It's only 3, which is really bad. If you are not spending all of your mana, there's gotta be a good reason for it. Most of the time this isn't going to come up, but there are very few occasions where you do have extra mana, because say you've got enough block already, and you don't have attack cards in hand or something. It's probably a deck thing at that point, but sometimes you just get unlucky, and you'll get the extra barrier and you can stockpile it from there. It does give you access to the barrier synergies, but you don't usually want to not attack, right? So, yeah. Obviously, Reimu has the same traits as she does for both styles, so 80 health, a little bit more than most, and only 10 money to begin with. That means she's maybe a little bit weaker with the shop update now. It does actually matter slightly more. So that's a thing, but it does mean you can take if the rare exhibit at the start if you find it as one of the advantages here. We do not, so we don't have access to that. But we have a couple of interesting ones. Also, I think Reimu, this was the Reimu style that I used to swap my exhibit out, my starting exhibit for a lot of the stuff, which I thought was interesting. At least you could potentially have a different color here. We might do some runs of this later on when, you know, we've done all the main stuff, but that depends how many more runs I want to show, I suppose. So, 2 options that we want. I mean, sponsor is still actually good now because we could go to a shop early, but I think the options that we want is either upgrade a card immediately or alter a card to transform it into something else completely. This could transform into a rare or something, which would be really good. Just taking a quick look at the map so we can see where we're going with this. We are guaranteed an event when we go for Yukari at the start here, so I guess that's fine. We could probably just take the upgrade because that would really help for the starting card that we have here. But I think it would be funnier to take Transform, so that is what we will do. And we get a good block off of it as well, so we traded in one of the regular blocks and getting Battle Stance. I'll take that. That's some pretty good trade-off stuff right there. Yeah, obviously taking the life with this one. I mean, you basically always take the life, but especially here, you definitely want to take the life, because realistically, what are you using the bomb for with this one, right? I guess to get a Yin-Yang, but the Yin-Yang's not worth spending, like giving up 20 health for. Alright, because we do have this superior block now, we are actually able to spend 1 less mana on defending this opening turn, and we do have the temporary firepower, so we get 13 damage instead of 10. So off to a better start already with this, that's good to see. Here is Reimu's unique card that she starts with in her deck. I mean, obviously you can find it as a general thing, but here's the one she begins with. 2 white mana to do 12 damage. Not amazing, but that's usually how these go. But if you have Barrier, you deal that damage twice instead. What this used to do is when you upgraded it, it used to just do that 12 damage 2 times. It didn't worry about the barrier part. But now it's reworked so that it costs 1 white mana instead. And at 1 white mana, this card is actually really good. So yeah, we'll definitely be looking to use it later. We do still want to use it here because 2 extra damage compared to the regular attack. But we'll definitely be looking to try and get it upgraded. What we need here really is just a lot of generation stuff, right? We need a lot of barrier if we can get it, and we need ways to get into said barrier. That is the goal here. What we maybe could have done there, if we didn't want the regular damage, we could have maybe shown off the barrier thing, because we were going to draw this, so we could have spent on the shoot. Had an excess mana, that would have given us free block, and we could have just done that. But we're going to win this turn anyway, so I didn't really see the point of doing less damage. We had the temporary firepower, so we should really have gone for as much as we could. So that was the logic. Alright, cards that we have here, another duplex barrier is pretty funny. True Majesty is a card that got buffed recently. This used to cost a red mana, and then upgrade I think to cost 1. Now it costs 0 to begin with. Apply 2 weak to every enemy is pretty good for this sort of playstyle. Probably going to take this card. But if you upgrade it, it gets innate. So you start with it in your opening hand. That's not bad. Also applies weakness for 3 turns as well. We'll take it because even just at 2 turns it's pretty good. But we will see. Oh, okay, this might be the time to take this. We're going to need to look for other events going through this this screen. So let me have a look real quick, because we'll go for upgrades. We got an event here, and we got an event up here. Okay, so we'll look for events because we want to get the amulet to go with this, so that we can hopefully survive a fair bit. This is still a risk to take, but it is possible that Renosuke might trade for this as well. So we're going to take the shirt this time. Now, last time I didn't take it because it was too late in the run. This is at the very start, so we're going to get a lot of maximum life off of this, but we do gain 2 lock-on at the start of every fight. We either need an amulet to negate that lock-on, or we need the amulet from the Moko Kaguya like fight in order to get 10 barrier and have extra defense to mitigate that at the start. That's what we're looking for now. Also, that's Snaggletooth though. I don't know. So yeah, we will instantly see that in the Crow fight here. Now we have 2 lock on, but we have 103 health. So every fight that we do, we will gain more health, which is good. The downside, of course, is that we have to spend a little bit more on block at the start here in order to do anything. But we were going to have to spend that anyway because of the way the hand drew out, so I guess in this case it's not really too big of a deal. High risk, high reward, as they say. So let's see what we can make out of it. Not going to be able to spend all of our mana here, so I guess we are going to get to see the Barrier Slam. Not Barrier Slam, that's a different card. We're going to get to see the exhibit, the Purification Rod, do its thing. So now we have 3 Barrier as well. Remember that Barrier does not go away when you switch turns. So from here, I mean, it's a bit of a waste to be honest with you, but we can do 24 here, which is good. Problem is, this guy is gonna graze, so I think we just want to swing there. And I do not have the mana to... I do not have the mana here to defend against this entirely, so I guess we're taking 2. But that is probably paltry compared to what we could have been doing there. Chutney Doo is very proud of it because it's funny more than anything. Alright. Oh, Binding Border is pretty good, but Orb of Duality I think is the one that I need to take here. So we have 3 unique options, I suppose. The ability is the one I don't like here. It takes a lot of mana. You don't get a reduction on the card that you get, so you've still got to spend full on that. I don't think you can really do that after spending 3 mana in most turns, not until later on in the game. And it's not even that good of a benefit. Like, gaining firepower or spirit is nice. It just seems kind of underwhelming though. It's like, yeah, you get a card that you probably can't play, so whatever. Orb of Duality is really good, especially when you upgrade it, because it only costs 1 when you upgrade it. Do 12 damage, add an orb to the hand. The orb does cost 2, but we need orb generation for this Reimu to really shine, so that's what we want. Binding Border is also pretty good too though. 2 mana to do 15 accurate damage, that is not to be underestimated by itself, but if you have Barrier, then you also put Vulnerable on the opponent. So your follow-up attacks do more damage as well. Upgrade this, it does 19 and puts 2 Vulnerable on. So this is also extremely good. Just, we need orbs first, because that's going to be one of the primary things that we are looking for in this run. So we will upgrade this. Again, only costing 1 is very, very powerful. So that's what we want to do here. And I think for variety's sake, we will fight Cherno here. I still really like going into blue color for, you know, either Reimu style, but I think it might work even better here because Reimu B does a lot of exile stuff, which Lakeside Dance, being a Reimu card, can greatly benefit from. So yeah, we'll try and get some blue mana, but if we get green instead, it depends what the exhibit is. We might take it. Anyway, let's go for the event here. Add to the exhibit. Okay, it's the Parsi one. So we gain a random exhibit. It is the Leaky Ladle. Ooh. Oh, that is fancy. Alright. And now we're going, why does everybody find exhibits so easily? Well, I'm going to put a curse on you. You get a misfortune. But you could also just lose the thing. You know what? It's a shame because we only just got it, but I really am not feeling this too much. We've only done 1 fight with it, admittedly, but I'm not really feeling taking the misfortune. It doesn't do anything too bad, but it does mean you've got to burn a shop thing to get rid of it. So, or like another transform or something. So we are going to just give her the t-shirt. You can take the lock on. I don't want it. Aren't your eyes green? Yeah, so we got the Leaky Ladle out of that, though. I will happily take that. Oh god, this fight, really? I mean, okay, so if I still had the t-shirt, this would be doing 20 damage to us here, which is way too much to want to deal with, so I think I made a decent enough choice here. So we're going to use the orb and use our remaining 2 mana to attack with said orb here. 11 damage because we've got temporary firepower, and the barrier means that we don't take any damage from you this turn, which is pretty useful. Yeah, she's stolen our money, so we can't even play this anymore because she stole enough money that we can't actually use it. That's annoying, but it's fine. So I suppose we should probably use the Majesty thing here, and we do have barrier because of playing the orb last turn, so we'll do this for double damage, and yeah, it's pretty good. Unfortunately, we do not have any blocking cards in hand, so I think it's, do I deal 5 and take 3, or do I miss that 5 and don't, yeah, because she's going to poison us too. I think we'll just take the damage here, because if we do this one now, we should be able to take her out in 2 turns. And yeah, 2 poison, a little bit rough, but it's alright. Even if we had gone ahead and saved that mana last turn and gone to 8 barrier, this wouldn't be live anyway, so it's fine. We still, like, I don't know, this is an awkward spot to be in, I suppose. But yeah, had I not done damage last turn, she would be at 25, and that would be probably too difficult to get here. I think we could have done it, but would have been close. Yeah, we could. I think we could have hit the requisite number, but oh no, actually maybe not. Right? No, 15 plus 11, we would have done it. But still, Ascension Kick. really good to get here. Home and Amulet is kind of nice too, but we don't have enough red mana for this. And Full Moon Howl also really good, but we probably need to get more actual like regular mana first. Ascension Kit giving temporary firepower and drawing a card is great, and we can upgrade that just now, and it will not cost mana whatsoever. So yeah, one of the things we want to try and do now that we got the Leaky Ladle is get as many cheap skills as possible here. So anything that costs 0 and is a skill that we can use is fantastic, because the more skills we get, the more card draw we can do with this, and the better our hands become. So yeah, not much to do with it here. This is one example where the Hakurei Rod is going to be good, because there's no point in putting a block up on turn 1 because she's not attacking, so at least we get a tiny bit of barrier to go for this turn. Still going to be a bit rough though. Let's go ahead, Ascension Kick, see what we can get. It's fine, I suppose. True Majesty, so we can weaken everything. We aren't quite going to get to Leaky Ladle points yet because we just don't have enough skills for it, but that's fine. We can go probably just do this one and then defend a little bit more, and Duplex for 38 because we have barrier from the previous turn. So it's not bad. We're going to get weakened here. It's a little bit annoying. But we didn't take damage. Surprisingly, that gets affected by weaken. I wasn't sure that it would. So, we learn something new every day. Alright. So this turn, definitely want to get more block on. And I think we just hit with the orb as well. The orb is going to give 8 barrier. And she is still weakened. Yeah, I think we just hit with this, as opposed to doing double block here. It could have been useful, but I think this is still good, because now we have 11 barrier, so we should be able to survive basically everything here. Also, yeah, 0 mana gains 4 firepower, by the way, would be good enough without the card draw. That thing is absolutely disgusting. But because of that, we do have more than enough attack power here to take her out. So, surprisingly, no damage taken in that fight. Oh, Secret Cloak is interesting here too. So at the end of your turn, gain a block for every card in the hand is quite nice. You know, it's just a little bit of extra defense here, which may or may not end up being good, but we will see. Not super keen on any of these cards. This might be a skip. Entrenched Body is quite good, especially if you upgrade it so it doesn't cost a white mana as well. Reflection means that you'll deal damage to the first enemy that hits you in the turn. So it's like fine, it's not the best block card out there, but the extra damage back is quite good. Wild Exorcism Dance is good with temporary firepower, and we do have a couple of sources of that already, but it's a little expensive and it isn't targeted, so like decent for bosses, but it does go to 6 fight. So normally it's like 24 damage, then goes up to 30 damage with the bit there. It's really bad if we get into Tenchi though. And again, I don't even have the first one of these upgraded yet. I'm not going to go for a second one just now. We'll keep the deck a little bit leaner and see what we can do from there. So, Black Lotus unfortunately is what we're missing out on this time. Not as bad as a spacesuit, mind you. Gotta take the glasses, but that's okay. I think we can deal with that. We could take the event, or we could just take 2 fights. I think I would like to get a couple more card options, so we'll take the 2 fights here. Also means we get a little bit more money off of the high-tech glasses, so we can potentially go for an upgrade in the next stage. So, seems good to me. Alright, let's just go orb, defense, and use the orb here. Get a little bit of attack on that barrier, gain the barrier ourselves as well. Free block from the cloak, so now we had more than enough to survive that turn, which is good. Get a draw. That's a good draw because we can use that to do double here. No defense cards is a bit unfortunate, I suppose. So I guess it's just gotta count, like it's doing 12. So I suppose we could probably get away with using this. 14 damage is hard to pass up on this fight, so yeah, we got enough block. That's really the main thing. And now, hopefully, yep, with the barrier that we still have, take her out. We could have done Orb Duality, use the Ying-Yang Orb, gain Barrier with that if we had to. So it would have been fine either way. Barrier Slam, I was just mentioning this earlier. Interesting card, 10 damage accurate, but it does more damage for the barrier that you have. If you've got really good barrier generation, this is a fantastic card. Upgrades to cost 1 white as well, just like Duplex does. Slice of Life is intriguing for 1 mana, or I think it goes to 0. Yeah, it goes to 0 when upgraded. Gain a little bit of life, convert any block you have to barrier, and then exile this skill. It's fine. Probably not what I need immediately though. Maybe if it had replenish, but that's obviously too powerful, so whatever. And then Indiscriminate Ignition, we've seen this one before. Do 5 damage at the end of your turn, and if you draw a status or misfortune. It's okay. There are a lot of status cards in certain fights, so that's like possible. And when you upgrade it, it only costs 2. So like, yeah, it's fine. But I don't want it, so yeah, I'm skipping again here. This is not quite how I would like this to go, especially because we don't have an AoE for this fight. Not exactly how I want this to go at the start, but, you know, it could be worse. We will just have to see how this pans out. Let's go for our usual sort of setup. 19 is a lot of damage to be dealing here. I could take out the one that's doing a status condition, because that status is annoying, and I would rather not deal with it. 15 is enough to take out a couple of the other ones too, so we'll take out this one. Gain ourselves a barrier, and we will not take damage this turn, or to our barrier either, so that's pretty useful. So from here, Barrier Slam is not the card we have. I keep calling it that. Duplex Barrier. I think we're going to take this one out, actually. Yeah, the damage is done all in one motion, so it does not trigger their block first, which is really good. We can't kill either of the other two. It's a bit of a shame. I suppose we can go here. It's probably fine. We're going to get weakened, I think, by the blue Kodama. That's the... Yep, so... whatever, it's not the end of the world. We can kind of recover that with this anyway, so I suppose that's fine. 9 damage, not amazing, but I mean, it still gets this closer to being defeated, so we'll do that. Don't need to play a defense card because we already had enough block anyway, so we might as well gain a tiny bit of barrier. And from here, we should win fairly easily just by doing that and this. Kind of misused the things there. I should have used Duplex first, but it's fine because we had enough other shoots and stuff in the hand. Okay, a couple of different cards here. Dimensional Point Rift is interesting. 6 accurate damage for no mana is okay. And if you lose a buff, then it goes back to the hand. So cool, I suppose. Works with the temporary firepower that we have so far. Tiny hitbox is okay as well. Gaining Graze, also gaining Vulnerable is annoying, but if you upgrade it, it removes that stipulation. I think I'm going to go for the Full Moon Howl though, because that card generally does very well with a lot of stuff as we go on. We'll upgrade the Duplex Barrier this time first though, because costing 1 mana for that damage is just way too good. So that's what I want. And now, let's see what we can do against Ire, I suppose. Not too much to begin with, but I suppose it's fine. 28 damage is pretty good on the first turn, actually. So, like, I'm not really going to complain too much of that. And it also gets her to actually start doing stuff. So there is that as well. No barrier for Duplex, so we're not actually getting any damage out this turn. So let's just go ahead and actually float the mana here, because I can't get anything out of it anyway, so I might as well just get the barrier here. Sometimes you do find that sort of situation and it actually does make sense to use your stuff in that way. So it's not always useless to go for that. So here the problem is I don't think I'm gonna have enough. I kind of have enough mana. If I do this one, then we can increase the firepower, and we have at least one attack that we can do. So 29 damage is respectable. The orb stays in hand, so we'll have that for next turn. And we don't even take barrier damage here because of the firepower down. So, cool. I suppose that works. And now what's nice is that we can use the Ying-Yang Orb because it's accurate. So we can use that first to damage her. And yeah, from here, again, she's not attacking, so no point using the last bit of mana. Just get a little bit of extra barrier. And that means we shouldn't need very much defense this turn, which is probably for the best because there's not a lot going on here. I can't knock her out if I go for the paper first, so we might as well just not and just get a block here. We'll take her out next turn. Thankfully, we have this barrier stored, so we don't need to play as many defense cards in that one turn to take no damage. And we can go duplex. First hit gets grazed, second hit goes in. So, yeah, good enough first fight. We'll take that. We get the Hina doll. Okay, this actually makes it interesting to take certain events on now, because the next two misfortunes we would get added to the library don't get added. That's very strong, actually. Alrighty, from here, Evil Sealing Circle's pretty good, like, global damage. We are missing AoE right now, so, like, that could be worth taking just because of that. Binding Border does make a lot of sense, though. I don't think we need a second Full Moon Howl. This a little bit too early for that. Even though I want more skills, I would like to get draw card skills if possible. So I think we will just take the Border. The accurate stuff can actually matter later on as well, so we will go for that. Let's upgrade to Full Moon Howl though, because vulnerable for 2 turns is really good. And we'll fight Cherno. So I think I fought Cherno with Reimu A potentially as well. She doesn't have her own boss music yet, that is still going to be getting worked on. What's the dual branch? Yeah, we fought Cherno, we fought everyone at least once by now, I think, so yeah, even if it's just fighting them from Shiki, we have fought everyone at least once, so yeah, not much else to really say with it. Let's just get to the fight. So I think, yeah, firepower down obviously helping out a lot here, and then we're just going to do as much damage as we can with the Border. 27 because of the vulnerable. Really good. Yeah, firepower down makes sure that she doesn't do any damage to me here, which is nice. And not a lot of attacking going on though, unfortunately. We'll just put the weaken on now and float the mana so we can get barrier here. We'll have duplex in hand next turn. Just the problem is we don't have Full Moon Howl at the same time, which is a shame. No cards left in deck, so we'll shuffle up, see what we can do. It's just a basic. Okay. She's going to do Frost Armor this turn, so kind of annoying. Not really a lot we can do about that. We'll just get our barrier up, I suppose. 12 damage, 8 barrier, that's pretty respectable. Yeah, I think it's better to just get the 9 in here whilst we've got the temporary firepower, rather than getting the free barrier. So now it's just Frost Armor, so we've got to do a lot of hits to break the armor. And getting double mana freeze in hand is brutal. Oh god. So mana freezes make your cards cost 1, they don't stack, which is something I actually didn't know. Yeah, the mana freeze is not stacking here, thankfully, but we do have to basically play both of our light cards out here just to get rid of those. That is unlucky, but thankfully we still have enough barrier to survive our stuff here. And now she's going to do her spell card, 24. Blech. Okay. Full Moon Howl does help a tiny bit at the very least. So I think we want to just go all in with it here. Apply an extra turn of vulnerable as well, so we'll do a lot of damage for the rest of the stuff. Without using the bomb, we are going to take damage here though, unfortunately. We're taking 2, because the secret border is going to give us an extra 2 block. I kind of don't want to take damage, but I also don't want to use the bomb on something like this, so we just won't. We're on normal mode, so we really don't have to worry too much about taking ridiculous amounts of damage here. It's just, obviously losing the points sucks, but who cares, right? It's not that big of a deal. The only reason to have done it really is so that we could have had these doing their thing, but I think that's okay. So she's got Kasumi again. She does have other partners that she can take, but she's just going for Kasumi, I suppose. Good on her. Whatever. Keep with what you want, right? Let's float the mana here, I think, because this is just going to do so much more damage. Almost have her down, and she's still vulnerable next turn, so yeah. Like I said, we could have done this damageless if I was willing to use the bomb. I just wasn't, so it's fine. 15, 15... Oh, we actually don't kill her. Oh, that is very silly. Alright, whatever. Block, and... I think, is this enough? No, we are actually taking another 2. RIP! Oh no, I mean, we're taking just a little bit of damage. Whatever shall we do? Yeah, she's obviously dead. That's fine. Right, what are we gonna get for our exhibits? Oh! Oh, that's even better than the blue. That's even better than the blue. This is fun. Okay, so we got the green one, so it's Reimu B's one that we get here. That's fine, we're not taking it, but green mana, we would get a Midsummer Flower. Midsummer Flower is something that's a little bit hard to build around, unfortunately, especially when you don't start with green mana. But if you manage to get a generation thing, it's like there's a Yuka ability and Dayose can give you Midsummer Flowers as well, and effectively they just do they do more damage every one of them that you play, but you can't just get Midsummer Flowers as a card. You have to generate them, so kind of annoying. We did see this plate before. It upgrades 3 random cards in your hand until the end of combat as the start of your first turn. That's cool, but the blank card is one of the most fun things in this game. It adds a rainbow to the pool. It gives you 1 more card option at the end of every combat, or every time you get a card reward, and you can get any color of card added to your pool. So hopefully we get another rainbow at some point. We can start getting some really crazy stuff. Yeah, blank card is my absolute favorite thing in this game, so we are definitely taking that. And the rares that we get, yeah, so you can see we get everything from the usual white and red, but now we have a black one here as well. This is actually a pretty solid card too. Good skill that we could get. So yeah, let's just go over this up. I mean, I don't think we've seen the Immortal Flame before. We've definitely seen Crossing the Border. I think this has been reworked a little bit to cost less mana, so that's kind of neat. The Immortal Flame gives you 2 firepower at the start of every turn, and at the end of the fight, if you have less than half life, you will gain 4 back. Takes 5 mana though, and this doesn't really go down at all when you upgrade it. It just adds the numbers here. So, I mean, that's fine. Like, the longer the fight goes on, the stronger you get. That's pretty cool. You don't start with it though, so that's a bit of a disadvantage. Dichromatic Lotus Butterfly doesn't look like a good card, but it's actually insane if you have the rest of your setup going. There are ways to generate just little bits of block and barrier as you go, and doing 7 damage to a random enemy as an ability is really good. It does 9 when upgraded, so this is not a high priority upgrade target. It's not that much of a difference, but I suppose it depends on how often you're getting the barrier and stuff set up. If you've got a lot of Ying-Yang Orbs that you can fire, this is going to do a lot of chip damage. So it's like it's the 3rd wheel in the crazy ability setup that Reimu can have here. But we're not there yet, we need the other 2 first. So Gap Lady, I think, is the one that's worth taking here. Takes the black mana, so right now it's only going to be useful with the rainbow, but yeah, lose 3 life, okay. Gain triple rainbow and draw 3 cards. It's a skill too, so it goes with a ladle. If you upgrade it, you draw 5, which is absolutely ridiculous, but you also don't pay mana for it. So yeah, we're taking that. Alright, who are we fighting? It's Tenchi. I suppose we have fought everyone at this point, and it's probably a good thing I didn't take Indiscriminate Ignition at this stage. Like, yeah, I could just not play it, but that's just a dead card at that point. Not very fun. So, yeah, kind of grateful for that. Do we have an exhibit that we can trade away? Not one that I want to trade away, so... yeah, this... I don't know about taking the trade right now. I want to do as many fights as I can because I want to have like access to more options. But I think we're taking an upgrade first. Really want to get Gap Lady upgraded. Alright, so let's go. I mean, I think we start with the Gap Lady, makes the most sense here, right? It does exile itself after you use it, but like, come on, this is super duper strong. Definitely worth it. Full Moon Howl, I think, is the right play here. So we go Howl to put Vulnerable down. That's our third skill, so we do draw an extra 2 as well. Don't think that's going to matter, but it's fine. Do 24 damage with the orb here. Utterly absurd. And then we use this to get the barrier. And now that we have barrier, we slam for 48. And then we use Binding Border to finish her off. We could have maybe used the Battle Stance to get some extra firepower, but then we'd have been 2 mana short, so 1 attack short. And I think we just did more with that. Okay, so Black Reimu has a very interesting card in terms of the Furious Purification Rod. While it's in the hand, you just draw 2 extra cards during each draw step. I think it exiles itself after 3 turns normally. No, it exiles itself after 4 regardless, apparently. But you only draw 1 card when it's not upgraded. But yeah, we just draw 2 extra cards as soon as we get this in hand when we at the start of like every turn. So yeah, it's pretty solid. You can actually overdraw a fair bit with this, but it's been a long time since I've had this card. Really cool. Frantic Falling Leaves is an interesting green-red neutral card. If you use this, you just gain a graze, but for every graze that you've got after that trigger, gain 2 temporary firepower. So you get to do some dodging, especially if you upgrade it so it doesn't cost red-green. And yeah, gain some temporary firepower. Pretty good, but we're taking the rod because we want more card draw here. So yeah, if you draw it at any point during your opening hand here, I was so hoping it would happen there. Yeah, you basically just get to draw 2 extra cards during the opener if you get it that way. So that's pretty neat. This hand is not quite so neat though. I mean, we can play it all out, and I guess that's fine. Yeah, it's not crazy, but we can get enough block, and we can still do duplex as well. Duplex for 16, still pretty reasonable, especially with the shoots going for 9 as well. Was tempting to use the bomb, that would have taken him out entirely, but it's probably not necessary. Okay, from here we definitely need to guard up a little bit, unfortunately. But this orb will take him out, so that's good. And then this one will give us enough barrier that we do survive this. Well, we only take 2 points on our barrier as well. That's pretty good. Because he's not attacking this turn. Yeah, here's the thing. We drew with the rod here. It does lose one of its charges when it does that during the turn you draw it. But yeah, we drew it for turn, but now we drew 2 extra cards too. So it's really, really strong. Just not much else to say for it, really. It was a fantastic little pickup. Alrighty, what else can we get? Okay, so Yokai Buster has been edited since I did the Reimu A run. It does slightly less damage now, but it also applies weakness, which is honestly really good. Actually fits very well with this playstyle, but I don't think I really want it here. Probably want another Battle Stance, to be honest. The temporary firepower has been doing a lot of work. Poison Rays is interesting if you have poison cards to go with. Another red-green neutral card here. If you upgrade it, it takes 2 of anything, which is pretty solid. And yeah, if you have poison, it does a ton of accurate damage. Otherwise, you apply a reasonable amount of poison. So yeah, in the right setup, good card. This is not the right setup though. Yeah, I'm going to take the Battle Stance. Probably got too many defense cards at the moment, but we'll figure that out as we go. And we get Patchouli! Oh, this one is blessed. Alright, yeah, so we have the best event with it here. We will convert our red mana, I think, because we want as much yellow as possible in general. We still got 3 red available when this comes in, and now we have like 5 white. I say yellow mana because, again, it's colored yellow, but it is actually white mana according to the game, so gotta keep that in mind, I suppose. Let's upgrade the Gap Lady. Draw 5 cards. For 0 mana. Don't mind if I do. So we don't really have... Yeah, I don't really want to sell the Hinadol because we're probably going to need to use this later. There's one event in Act 3 that I would really love to see with this. So we're not selling that, and of course we're not selling the Leaky Ladle because that is the strongest exhibit in the game pretty much. So yeah, you're not getting anything this time, Inosuke. It's fine, he doesn't have to get something every time. Let's go for the shop so we can see if we can buy the stuff. Ah, right, this is why we have been saving our bomb. The Colosseum event coming back here, this could actually be really strong for us, but woof, it's gonna be a lot. We could just not take it, and because of the Hinadol, we don't take this misfortune, but we're in a good enough spot. I think we can take on the drones. Yeah, it's gonna hurt a fair bit, but I think we can do it. Okay, so I guess it doesn't really matter which order we do this in. We want to play the weakness thing so that we get rid of the amulet, and then our second week is going to work. I think we want to do battle stance first as well so we get the temporary firepower going here, and this is where the bomb's going to come in. So we are going to hit everything for 13 thanks to using the block attack, the battle stance. And now everything has weaken on it. But more importantly, we have barrier, which means that Duplex is going to hit for 30 damage here and just wipe out one of these. I think we want to wipe out the one that's going to purify mana on us here. So that is what we shall do. Yeah, the other ones are going to do more damage, but we have so much block that it's really... We only take 1 barrier damage here and we still have 22 for the next turn. So I think we are doing fine. Let's go for our card drawer. I think we do want to use Gap Lady here as well. Draw 5. Good lord. We could put Full Moon Howling down as well. Now we can get the stuff there and draw 2 extra because of our Leaky Ladle. And from here, I don't think we KO them per se, but we certainly do an awful lot of damage this turn. I think a 1-mana shoot. Yeah, 1-mana shoot is enough to take him out as well now. So that's pretty good. We can use this one, 24. And the orb itself, is that enough? 14, yeah, that's enough as well. So we take him out. And then we will use, I guess not enough to finish him. That is okay too. Sure. Got a lot going on in that turn, but we survived very easily. He has vulnerable and we will just shoot him in the face with our orb, because that is what we do. Didn't quite kill him of course, but that's fine because this orb will. Just wanted to do it because we could. Alright, Dowsing Rod's not a great exhibit to get here. You can, instead of upgrading at the Yukari, you instead get to try and find a new exhibit. It's at random though, and it can be any rarity, so it's not very good. One of the ones I'd have wanted to sell to Inosuke, to be honest, but whatever. Okay, here is the last of Reimu's black mana cards, and it has been altered from what it used to be. It used to be like a 2-mana block card that if it was exiled, you gained like 3 rainbow mana, 2 or 3 rainbow, depending on upgrade status. Now, it's a 3-mana block, gains 20 block, which is okay, but you do get to exile Misfortune and status cards from the hand, which can be good in the right situation. This is not that situation, but it can still be good. The other ones, gain an amulet is kind of nice, can also remove a debuff, also gain some money I suppose is quite good now. It's fine. One of the few ways of getting amulets outside of the exhibit, so there is that. Probably just want strength of body, to be honest. Slice of life could also be good with it being upgraded. We do have a little bit more card draw, so I guess that could be nice. Offset the damage that we're taking from Gap Lady is probably good. Oh, see, this is a much better one. We haven't seen this exhibit yet, but this is a mythic rare, actually, a really fun one too. I died and became stronger. If you are to die, you heal to half maximum life instead, and then you lose half of your maximum life, but that just means that you heal to as much as you now have, and you gain 2 firepower at the start of combat. So that's kind of neat. It's a bit of an insurance policy, if you will. So, cool. Alright, what else? Oh, this fight? Ugh. Oh, good lord, they are giving us all the worst fights here. Yeah, not a fan of this. Well, let's just play what we can, I suppose. Get the orb. And I think rather than using the orb this turn, I'm just going to gain some block and convert our barrier here. So now at least we have barrier going for us. Probably should have played the boundary as well before doing that. Would have had just a little bit more going for us here, but I didn't. Nothing else to it, I just didn't. Okay, we didn't really draw attack cards. That's unfortunate. So I guess we've just got to make the most out of the one attack that I have. This might be a situation where using the bomb actually makes a lot of sense here. Using the bomb doesn't even KO the bunny here, that's the sad part. It only does 15. But it's probably better. Yeah, I'm gonna use it. I don't like doing this, but again... Oh no, it does kill it. Wait, does this do 15 normally? No, I had firepower up, that's why. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, now I have enough defense that I can just tank this fight. It's gonna take a long time, it's not gonna be difficult per se. So, sure. I mean, that's better than nothing, I guess, right? I can only play, like, the 3 cards per turn, and she is gonna weaken us with the spell card here. It says a spell card, but it's not really much of a spell, if I'm being honest. It does give her firepower, so I guess it kind of is. But it's not that much of a spell. Do our damage and take her out. Okay, never mind. It didn't take as long as I thought, but that's... sometimes you just expect worse. Maiden's Aerial Dance is pretty good, especially because it's upgraded here. Yeah, you can see just I mean, we're getting a lot of black mana cards, not really getting a lot of blue cards, which are the ones I actually want here. Yeah, Maiden's Aerial Dance is pretty good. It only it draws the same, like Game 1 grades draw 2 cards, whether it's upgraded or not. Now it only costs 1 mana though. This is probably worth taking because it's card draw with a slight upside. Fall into Poverty, you lose some money, but you do accurate damage a couple of times, which is good enough, I suppose. 13 times 2 when you upgrade it is respectable at least. And Heart Blossoms has the instinct part to it, so 10 damage to every enemy, 14 when upgraded, and if it's the edge card and there's an enemy that intends to attack, you also gain block off of it too. Also just a very pretty card. I really like the artwork on this one. We're taking Maiden because we've got card draw options and Graze is pretty solid, so yeah, that's the best one to go for. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, we could get more card options off of each of the things. It's pretty good. I am disappointed that we are not getting blue cards here. That is the one downside. There is a rare tool, which is interesting. Gain Flawless for a turn is good, right? You get to use it whenever you want to. The Supply Backpack might be worth taking because it's just another draw card. There is such a thing as too many draw cards, I suppose, but we're not quite there yet. Ritual of Exorcism is a very fun card for dealing with the Luna Bunnies if you are looking for them in Act 3, because they have less than 30 health by default, so you just one-shot them, which is the only way to properly deal with them, let's be honest. We did see Luna Rabbit Incense before. That could be okay, but I'm looking to get other ways of upgrading cards, so I don't think we're going to get it in this run actually, because we have so many more card options available. It's going to take a lot of luck to get the cards I actually want now, but that's fine. I think I might unironically take the card choice one here. We have 5 options per battle now, which is very nice actually. We do kind of need another attack, so another Binding Border is probably good. So we'll take that. I'm not really too enthused about like anything else here though. Ritual of Exorcism is cool. We probably could take it actually, because there are a few situations that's good for. If you upgrade it, by the way, the threshold becomes 40 instead of 30. Yeah, I guess I will take it. I don't think there's going to be too many times where I want to use it, but we'll see. What is my pathway looking like at the moment? We would be upgrading probably one of the battle stances so it doesn't take red, or one of these to do... 19 is really good. Yeah, well... how many of the regular things have I got? Let's see... 2 blocks, 2 shooting. No, let's go for the card remove here. Remove one of the basic blocks because I've got too many defense cards right now, and those ones are pretty bad, so yeah. Let's go for that. Alright, Yomu, once again over here. On guard, indeed. You are not a swordfish, however. We're not going to get to fully block her damage this turn. That kind of sucks. Oh well, let's just do what we can then, I suppose. Get a decent amount of damage off. I guess if I left it here, there is a way. If I only use the shoots, then I gain 3 barrier and 2 block, and now we don't take damage. It's not pretty, and it's not where I want to be with it, but sometimes you just gotta take that sort of thing, right? Okay, not really getting anywhere this turn, which is not where I want to be, but we can just like make her do no damage here at the very least. Oh no, wait, of course, the leaky ladle, we can get some extra draws. Still not going anywhere, but we can get some extra draws at least, which is good. And convert into barrier? Do I want to use... Yeah, I guess this time we will do it. So we'll do that one, and then, yeah, we get all of that into barrier. She's only doing 6 damage? This looks a little better. Yeah, this looks a little better, because we've got graze off of this. So we won't take damage this turn whatsoever. And now accurate damage. And the orb, at least generate the orb, and accurate vulnerable damage, seems good. Do we want to play Gap Lady is the other thing? I think we could save it. I don't think I need to just use it unnecessarily. Do you get her silver lock, it's not silver lockdown, it's just, that's Sakia's one, I said this last time too, the Shining Blade thing, we do get that in our deck, but, whatever. Damage! 24 times 2 seems pretty strong, right? I think we just win with these. Yeah, we do. Aha! Purification Rod doing its thing, getting extra draws off of that. Fox Mask is pretty good. We are playing quite a few attack cards in a turn when we draw them at the very least. So gaining that oh ho ho. Now see, this is why we wanted the whatever this thing is called, the Omikuji, because look at this. This is great. Okay. Sunlight Prayer is probably the pick. I really like the upgraded transmigration here as well though. Apart from, again, just an absolutely amazing looking card. The fact that it costs 1 to block 14 is very, very powerful. Exercising Border is interesting because you do get to basically just get a random defense card. I think this costs like 1 when you upgrade it. It does. So that's actually really good because, yeah, it's a random card, sure, but you're paying 1 to get a really good block, basically. You choose the best one, so that's really nice. Intense Rainbow Fist is also something we haven't seen yet. You gain twice as much firepower and temporary firepower when you use it, and you gain, like, this actually is 2 firepower, or 4 when you upgrade it. So this is pretty cool too, because we do have a decent amount of firepower generation at the moment. So it's neat. Maybe this would be the sort of time to take it, because that's fun. And we have, yeah, we'll go for it this way. I really, really, really like Sunlight Prayer, and this is one of my like all-time sort of favorite cards for Reimu. But yeah, and despite this being really good, I think we've got enough defense. Let's take the Rainbow Fist and upgrade that instead. That sounds like a good time. Okay, We are going to get the parasol, that's good. The third of the umbrellas, we got the other two last time, gain 12 block and 5 temporary firepower on your second turn. So yeah, TNT is really good too, but I think just gaining that block is going to be super useful here. So that is what we shall do. Alright, fight time. Do I want to fight? Yeah, I want to fight. We're going to take the fight. All the fights. Let's go, because we want to get more block for, or more bomb charge for going against, what's the face, Tenchi as well, so yeah. Plenty of skills in the opening hand here, so we can just go ahead and do a little bit of card draw, which is good. Don't get anywhere with it though, so unfortunate, I think is the best way of putting that. Let's just get the little bit of damage that we can in here. Keep the tiny bit of border, because we get the free. We've already gotten enough block, so we get a little bit of barrier that turn. And, well, I don't think this is too bad. We have aerial dance, so we do at least get some grays. Again, we're still missing a bit of AoE here, though, which is my own fault. I haven't been taking it, but still something to note, I suppose. Let's go probably just as much damage as we can into you. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And I might as well convert this now. I don't think we get to keep any of it, but actually no, we do. So it's worth doing. Yeah, gain a tiny bit of barrier. Okay, Ritual of Exorcism actually does come in here, so that is good. We need to make sure that we don't take damage off of these guys. So we'll go here to gain a little bit of barrier. We will go here to take them out. And then we can exercise this one. Very fitting, isn't it, to exercise the evil spirit in one go. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, two good cards here, and one that we haven't seen as well, a white-black card for Baby of the Stone. I think this costs white-black normally, gains block, and then gains additional block for every card that's in the discard pile. That's neat. Celestial Flight is Reimu's mana generation, another one of them. This Tenchi card obviously gives you a ton of mana, and then exiles. Costs 3 to use, but you can mitigate that. Totally fine. And then the one we want is the Balanced Orbs. This got nerfed a little bit, I would say unfortunately, but honestly it's kind of deserved. When you upgraded it, it gained 3 Ying-Yang Orbs to the hand. That was a little bit too powerful. Yeah, it does exile itself after use, but gaining orbs here, the first thing that we did after Reimu B got reworked was spam orbs everywhere with the thing. It was so fun. But yeah, we're taking this one, because it's a really strong card in general. The Joyful Kappa, huh? Well, at least this one doesn't go bonkers after you take out her drones, so there is that at the very least. Ritual of Exorcism might actually be pretty good in this fight, overall. Let's go for Full Moon Howling. It won't do the firepower down, but it does put vulnerable on these guys, so that is still very helpful. And I don't really know where I want to go from there, is the thing. I don't want to take a lot of damage, but we also don't have a lot of ways of preventing that. So I think we just kind of have to deal with it. I mean, we just don't take damage here, so it's good enough. But we are losing some of our mana color here, which is not amazing. Still not drawing super great here either. Like, I think it's good enough, but it's certainly not quite where I want it to be. Thankfully, it's okay this turn because we are on the second turn, so we have the Parasol doing a ton of work for us here. So we'll get a little bit of damage that we can, and convert our barrier. Seems good. Does heal up everything, which is honestly very irritating. but it's fine. We can take him out this turn pretty easily because we have vulnerable into a whack, so we'll just do that. And then you can also take a hit. It's not going to be a vulnerable hit, unfortunately, but that is also okay. Blip. No damage from you. And now, well, the rest of this should be pretty straightforward, because we have everything in our favor here, really. Do that one, do that one, and now this will do like 66 damage, so yeah. Could have kept going with Gap Lady if we needed to, but we just didn't in this instance. We're not really getting too many good rares here. So the rare we have this time, Glorious Treasure Spear. I think this got upgraded recently, so it does more damage or something, or gains more money, something like that. If you upgrade it, 24 accurate damage here. If you kill an enemy, that's what the X-Spell is for it. If this takes an enemy out, you gain a lot of money for it. And it also has accurate when you upgrade it, so that's cool. I think it's between Celestial Flight and Ascension Kick for this one. And it's probably going to be the Flight because mana generation is really good. It is upgraded too, so we do get to play it for 1 less mana than we would have before. So I'm not actually going to show this, unfortunately, because I want to upgrade my cards. But this is what happens when you've got the Dazzling Rods. You do just get this option to come up as well. I could show it and then reset, maybe. I don't know if you can reset actually off of that. I think the game might save at that point, but whatever. We're going to upgrade this because it's fun. I want to see what it does for us. And yeah, let's go from there. We just got to draw it in like a decent spot, to be honest, to make good use out of it. Okay, let's do some fun stuff here. Celestial Flight will spend 2 mana, gain 5, so we get some extra use out of our stuff here. Balanced Orbs to get some extra block as well, or barrier for next turn. Seems kind of good. And yeah, I think I'm going to shoot for a Gap Lady here. Yeah, draw the 5, draw an extra 2 because of the 3rd skill card being used. And from there, Full Moon Howl seems pretty good. Let's do that. We will go for probably just convert the barrier this turn as well, actually. And do Barrier Slam. 11 times 2 seems pretty good. And we can also just hit with the orb as well. Yeah, all seems good to me. We did over 50 damage through the optical camo. We would have killed her if she didn't have the camo. That's pretty fun. Okay, let's see. I want to see how this goes, I suppose. Let's do it. We'll go with our Intense Fist here. So we have 4 firepower off of it, just right off the bat. That's really good. And sure, let's... which way around do I want to do this? Is the only question for it. It's like, do I want the weaken on it? I mean, yeah, because the vulnerable is not going to work. So if we do, yeah, 24, get rid of the amulet with the weaken effect, and then, yeah, weaken both of them with this. That seems good. Yeah, block so we don't lose barrier. And we weren't going to lose it anyway, so I probably should have just kept gotten an extra free barrier from the orb, the rod, but whatever. It is fine. We do not care. So now we gain 8 temporary firepower when we use Ascension Kick, and we will gain 6 temporary firepower when we use our battle stance. So that's an awful lot. Awful lot of extra strength here. And what that means for us, I guess, is we can go ahead and do like way too much damage to to Nitori here, and could just use... I think it's probably better to just use the orb. I was gonna just be funny and use Ritual of Exorcism, but it's probably better just to get the extra barrier from the orb as well. So we'll do that. And yeah, that's 50 barrier now, so good luck getting through this. That's the final use of our purification rod, so it is now gone, which is, I think, if we used crossing the border, I think we would get it back at full tilt though. So that would be fun. Vulnerable, it makes a lot of sense to do here. Duplex makes a lot of sense just to get as much as we can out of this. Go for Binding Border and Talisman to finish it off. Yeah, when you have this, I mean, we don't have that much firepower this turn, but like, there's still plenty around for it. Peony Stone, maybe not the best one to see before Tenchi, because she is just gonna heal half of that, but I suppose we'll make it work. Mizumaru is interesting to get here. So we had our experience with the teammate mechanic in the previous run via getting Cherno stuff to happen. Now we have Reimu's one, and you know, I mean, it is the best option here, I think. Permanent Border is interesting in other situations, but against Tenchi it's going to be really bad. At the end of the turn, 5 damage to a random enemy, but whilst it's in the hand, if you lose a buff, aka lose temporary firepower, then you increase the damage of it at the end of the turn, which is fun, but it's going to take too long to get going, and we really don't want to have this kind of thing, you know, like stuck in our hand. Yokai Study is a really good card as well that we didn't really get to see. I think I got to explain it in the Sakuya run, but we just didn't get to see it. Choosing 1 of 5 is really nice, and for 2 mana, 16 block is pretty good. Like, as an upgraded card, this is really strong. But, I mean, you could say that for most upgraded cards, but still. Yeah, let's take Mizumaru. I think we can make some good use out of her here. And we want to upgrade a lot of stuff, to be honest, but I think upgrading Balanced Orbs is probably best, because then we can only spend like any free mana to do 2 Ying-Yang Orb effects. Seems pretty good. There's one Ying-Yang Orb attack card that we haven't seen yet that I would really like to, but again, we've got so many options for stuff now, we're probably not going to find specifics that we want. That's the downside of doing this kind of run. Upside is that it's really fun though. Okay, so let's see what we can do against Tenchi. First off, we're going to gain our firepower. That's just obvious, right? Gap Lady is going to be our next protocol. Draw 5, pretty good. There's 6 mana here. Probably want to actually start attacking a bit then. And gain. I think Slice of Life, just to get the health back, actually makes sense, because this is our 3rd skill card. So we use this, we'll draw 2. Oh, it's not the 3rd skill card. It's the 2nd one. I thought it was the 3rd one. Whatever. Yeah, let's just use the orbs then. Hand is too full. That's fine. Firepower. And we have a lot of cards in hand, so it'll be pretty good to get our thingy up. Yeah, a block off of that. That's helpful. Gonna need a lot of assistance to get through this turn though. Okay. Ascension Kick, get a draw. Oh, yeah, there's the assistance. True Majesty, and then Celestial Flight. Draws 2. So that's good. We have 18 temporary firepower right now, by the way. Because the Parasol firepower also got doubled. So we are doing a ridiculous amount of extra damage here. I should probably factor that into what I want to do this turn as well. Battle Stance seems good. I think we want to gain a graze so we get rid of one of the pings here. Oh, and now we can just start hitting. Because, yeah, as much as I want to play like Mizumaru here, I think we have all of our beneficiary attacks. So let's get swinging. 54. 60 times 2. Seems good. 65. And that is Tenchi down. Not even close. Yeah, sometimes that just happens. Okay. Fortunately no rainbow mana, that's the disadvantage here. Advantage is we could get a good red mana off of this. Barley Rice, good for characters that really spam their bomb, but this is not one of them, so I don't think we need that. Leviton, honestly, Leviton is very interesting too, because we do have vulnerable as a thing that we are doing. So 50% more damage to opponents when they have vulnerable inflicted on them, but you also take 25% more with vulnerable on you. Super, super risky. And it looks like a bent clock hand, apparently. The alternative is to add red mana with a Gungnir, and then your attacks all become accurate, which can be very good if we fight Remelia in the last one here. We do have some accurate attacks anyway though, so maybe that's not as big of a deal. Okay, this is dangerous and it's probably incorrect. I think this is the right one to take, but I'm going to take the Leviton because I think it could be fun. We do have much more vulnerable stuff than normal, so I want to see how it pans out. Okay, oh god, there are 2 cards I want out of this for the final combo, but I think the best one is our Hakure Illusion. So let's go over the stuff in general here. Beauties of Nature actually is the card I was looking at for Midsummer Flower stuff. That's very funny that we see that here. Great Hakure Barrier is one of the cards that lets Reimu not quite go infinite, but basically in terms of never taking a hit, because it converts all of your block to barrier for the rest of the run. So you basically just play like a ton of defense stuff to go alongside this, like attack and defend at the same time type thing. You just don't take damage, and that's great. Dreamseal Blink is a time limit spell, as it's an extra turn card, which kind of weird for Reimu to have, I suppose, but it makes all of the cards that you play next turn do cost 1 more, so we're not really too worried about using that one. Life Game used to be what now the Day to Sea Split now does what this did. It used to be the Fiber Jar based card, but now it is a very strange one that actually works on card placement. Like, you spend 3 mana and make the cards that were next to it cost 0. If you upgrade it, it upgrades the cards that are next to it as well, so that can be kind of fun. But Hakure Illusion is what we want here. If you exile a card that is not a Persuasion Needle, you add a needle to the hand that costs 0. This card unfortunately does have Ethereal, so if you can't play it during the turn that you draw it, you're kind of screwed. You upgrade it to remove the Ethereal, but that's all that it does, so it's not generally worth upgrading. It's ridiculously expensive at 5 mana, but we're generating Ying-Yang Orbs, and every Ying-Yang Orb exiles itself after you use it, which means you get a 0 mana bonus damage as well, and this is going to matter because of power as well. This card is absurd, and is absolutely what we want. Of course, we are playing against Remelia, and Remelia does do vulnerable to you as well, so this actually could get very dangerous. We have a lot of damage coming our way. Ooh, could be dicey. Could be very dicey. Let's go... As much as I want to take Yukari, I kind of want the events in this act as well. We haven't gotten to use the Hina doll yet, and there is one event I'm really looking for in this particular stage that would be super good. So let's see if we can find it. Get our draw 2. Didn't really get very far with it, unfortunately. This might just be a turn where we need to use Mizamaru for actual effect here as well. Yeah, because we're gonna probably need these Jade Orbs this turn. So, see what we get. Block and Barrier is pretty good, because we do need that in order to not take damage this turn. This one I think I could retain in the hand for when I actually have more capabilities there, for more stuff to use it with. Because right now I'm not doing any damage with it. She has all of her lingering regret still, so she's taking 60% less damage. So we can't really use it yet. We can use this one now though, which is pretty good. Where do we go from here is the question. Probably... I want to use Gap Lady, I just don't know how many cards I can remove first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're not going to get full draw out of it. But I think it's still worth using. I mean, if we use this, we get full draw. It's just then we probably don't have a lot to actually play alongside it. Maybe I could have done it the other way around and got a bit more damage out of it. Maybe doing that is fine. There we go, Gap Lady now, draw the full. And yeah, this is going away this one, but I think that's fine. We probably don't need it in this exact fight anyway. And yeah, it's okay. We'll get to use it in the future, do not worry. So one more lingering regret to get through. And the best way of... Probably we want to do Full Moon as well here. Let's get a little bit... No, we're guaranteed to not... I mean, we're guaranteed to not take damage anyway, but now it's like absolutely concrete. Let's try and draw into this. We do get it, okay. So finally we can start doing full damage here. And Duplex is a pretty good way of doing that. Getting ourselves the extra draw, I suppose. Can't really use anything else in here, but that is fine. We have a bunch of orbs for next turn, which is good. And our hand is too full because we draw too much with this. But it's fine, because the more we draw this Duplex barrier, the better we are, you know, better position we're in here. So, Orb of Wind and Thunder. I really like that one. Damage twice is just so fun, especially when it's accurate. Gets through all the stupid grey stuff too. Okay, 2 new cards I guess to look at here. I don't think we saw Spell Card Duel last time. You gain Block and Reflection for 3 mana, but the amount that you gain is affected by your firepower, which we do have quite a lot of. But we also don't need more defense, so we're not taking that at this point. Could take another Aerial Dance, but we would need to go ahead and, you know, upgrade it, which probably not the right one to upgrade at this point. Baby of the Stone, we saw this before. Boundary of Life and Death is the other different card. 8 damage 2 times for white and black, but at the end of your turn, if your life total changed in the previous turn, you return it to the hand and it costs 0. So it's kind of neat. It does 12 twice if you upgrade it. Unfortunately, none of these cards are really anything I want, so we're going to skip here. It's fine. We've got plenty of good stuff already. The one thing, again, that we don't have, and this sort of fight highlights it a lot, the one thing we don't have is AoE. And we've really got to fix that at some point. Anyway, Hardcore Illusion coming on in here. I think this is probably about the best time for it. Super loud bike stuff again outside. I'm sorry. Alright, luckily the roadworks outside didn't hold it up for too long, so... how much are we taking now that we've done the weekend? 6, 12, 16, 22? Yeah, we can take that. Let's use the orbs so we can show this off properly. Now, look at that, we get a needle in hand as well. Costs nothing. Also has a really cool effect to it now as well. Normally the needle would be coming straight from Reimu here as a like directed streak, but now that we've done the illusion, yeah, she just like dances, has an illusion dance around the board to apply it. It's so fun. Okay, Celestial Flight. This will also trigger the needle, so we get that going as well. Probably do want to use our block here. We can trigger the Peony Stone a couple of times too, thanks to our amount of Philosopher's Mana that we have here. We can also just like knock out something with Ritual Exorcism too. Here's the other fun bit. Now that we've used the illusion, this 1 mana, gain 2 orbs in the hand, also gives us a needle because it exiles itself. So we get that as well. And the orb will exile itself, which gives us the needle. And the needle we could use there. And the orb goes in again. And this is why it's so much fun doing this, because we get the needle back as well. We just get so much additional damage out. And all of those are attacks, so because of our Fox Mask, we get a lot of spirit from that too, which is also very good. Yeah, just doing enough mana, doing enough stuff to get the thing. Oh yeah, that's another very funny bit. We get a double knockout there as well. I think I did that against the final Sager as well, actually. KO'd her with damage and exorcism and got double rewards off of it, which was very interesting. Couple of decent cards here. The Purification Rod is funny, but I think you only really need the one, to be honest. Getting another one is kind of excessive, especially when we're fighting Remelia. Deep Memories is fun, but getting it to the edge of your hand is really difficult, so... and it is a bit random, so fun card, very nice looking card, but not the best one. Rabbit Landing is pretty good though, 17 damage, scry 4 because it's upgraded here, and draw a card off of it. So I think I'll take it, because yeah, it's not the best bleed card that I want, but it's good enough. Now see, we could take this one. I don't think I need to be honest. There is one event I really want, but we just haven't got it yet. What's the stuff on the map? Is there? There is unfortunately a fight before the shop here. That shop's bad anyway, because there's no elite after it. I think we have to wait until this one to hopefully get the event that I want, and by then it's probably not going to show up. I'm going to take the extra health here. So, yeah, we could have taken Remove Impurities, but we're not really that, strapped for correct mana here, and we don't gain the Misfortune because we have the Healer Doll. So, yeah, I'll take it this time. Let's go for the shop. See, we probably won't need the shop later on at this point. Oh, the Birth of the Ying-Yang is good, right? I actually don't remember this card too well. Add a Ying-Yang Orb to the hand. At the start of your turn, if there are no Ying-Yang Orbs in the hand, add a Ying-Yang to the hand. Yeah, that is pretty good. It upgrades to cost only 2, which is nice. And again, those Yin-Yangs will exile themselves, so you're just getting a needle there as well. Yeah, sounds good to me. Robot model's also pretty good, gaining 2 firepower for every elite and boss here. Maybe a little bit late in the run, but it's still very good for us. So that's probably going to get taken. And then a card upgrade. Yeah, let's go for it. Upgrade the Birth of the Ying-Yang. I was going to do Mizumara or something, but I guess we'll be doing that later on. Still looking pretty good. We've got a lot of good upgraded skills and stuff like that. Could potentially have considered this, but obviously not anymore because we don't have the money for it. Only Spirit Bomb is actually worth considering too, because we do have a little bit of trouble with AoE. A little trouble, but I don't know if I want AoE that badly. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Alright, Sumi, unfortunately I can't afford the card now, so if you're looking for something... Yeah, you're looking for Gap Lady. That's not going to get traded regardless. These aren't necessarily worth it anyway. Hell is actually really, really funny with the generation stuff that we've got, but it's a little too expensive right now to do all of it in one turn. I don't know why this is a rare, to be honest with you. I mean, gaining 2 grays is nice, I suppose, but yeah, this card is very, very underpowered, to be honest. 16 damage for 4 mana really isn't very good. 2 lock-on after you've done the damage really isn't very good. Gaining the grays, yeah, okay, it's fine, but not amazing. Meltdown is pretty good, because we do like our exile stuff, but nope, not trading Gap Lady for that. Let's keep on with our stuff pure. And it's Yukari time, so we have to take this one then. I do still want to take fights because I want more card options, because I mean I've not actually got a very big deck this time around compared to what I normally have. So I do want some extra stuff going for us. We have no defense in this opening hand, huh? Well, I mean the Ying-Yang Orb can add, so I guess we technically do. So Orb, and Full Moon Howl. That greatly lowers the amount of damage we're taking. Weaken will lower it further, so we'll just take nothing this turn, which is good. And do this in the proper order. Go with the orb and binding border. Put an extra vulnerable for basically the rest of this fight. Yeah, your measly 1 damage means nothing. Okay, now Hakure Illusion is going to be really good. So we'll definitely want to do that. Duplex Barrier should probably be used this turn as well. Celestial Flight should be used before I go any further though, so I have enough mana to do everything. And yeah, let's get swinging. Duplex. Orbs. And swing. And orb. And orb. That's just the way it goes. All of the orbs. Okay. Good stuff. Sprinkle Path is good, I suppose. We haven't seen much for green Reimu yet. Close Eye Shot is supposed to have been upgraded. I think it does 1 more damage than it used to. It used to be like 7 times 4 and then 7 times 5 or something like that. Or maybe it does damage. No, I think it is 7 by 4, 7 by 5 that it used to be. 8 damage 5 times, given the firepower that we have. The reason to take it is because we might end up in a situation where we have too many cards to play versus Remelia. And we have a ton of firepower. So it might be worth it just because of that. I like the Orb of Duality here, but it might just be feeding into the you've got too many cards to go in. And this does chew through Grays as well, when you use it against single target stuff. Spring Color Path is the other interesting card. This used to overdraft free when it was upgraded, which just made it a really bad upgrade card. But yeah, gain Rainbow for no mana, draw cards for no mana, good skill, but you overdraft next turn, so you have less to play in the follow-up turn. So, bit of a risk-reward sort of card. It is a skill, which does still matter for us here. Card draw is always good. Let's go for the Close Eye Shot. It's like the bad pick, but I want to do it because it's interesting, if nothing else. You again. This is annoying. What have you got for us? 2 random tools, obviously don't need the power. We could take the money, I suppose, because we might be able to get some more stuff out the shop at the end. Yeah. 4 maximum life, not worth it. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Seems you failed the requirements. Your requirements are lousy anyway. Who really cares? What do we even upgrade at this point? Probably the Binding Borders makes the most sense. Yeah, let's go for the borders, because 19 damage, especially when we're applying a ton of vulnerable, just makes things so much better. I have actually forgotten about the whole vulnerable doing more damage as well here. The Levitin is something I haven't really considered, so gotta keep that in mind as we do these fights. Vulnerable is incredibly potent for our stuff here. Woof. Okay, we are going to need some pretty solid cards out of this to make this work. Better just put this on anyway, because we're going to draw a lot here. Those kind of count as reasonable cards. Birth of the Yin-Yang into... Yeah, we could make this work. Birth of the Yin-Yang into the Binding Border will break her concentration at the very least. So there is that, and now she's got Vulnerable on, which this is suddenly doing like double damage. Because that's just what we do with the Levitin, right? Levitin is increased by 50%, so it's now 100% more damage. So she is literally taking double damage with these attacks. So yeah, 56 times 2 seems strong. 24 with 9, so yep, 48 off of that, 52 here. We have 29, yeah, we have enough defense, so that is good. I'll just get in the block here then. What can you do? Very little. You don't have vulnerable anymore on you, which is a shame. We probably want to fix that. But first off, we've got to Hakure Illusion, so we get more stuff out of it. That is the law of the land. Get our vulnerable back, get the needle, do our Yin-Yang attack, get the needle, and we're gonna take a lot of damage because I didn't think that through. But it's fine. Could just use the bomb, actually. Yeah, we'll just use it. It's better to not take the damage here, I think. Because realistically, I don't think we're using that many bomb charges. We might need the bomb versus Remelia, actually, so maybe it wasn't the right play, but I also think we could do without taking a ton of damage before Remelia. Tinker Clog, get an extra firepower at the start of every fight. Sure, that seems really good. Ooh. Rainbow Danmaku Dupion, huh? 24 to each enemy, it takes 5 mana to use though. Add a rainbow to the hand afterwards, which is pretty good. So you do recoup a little bit of the mana, and if you spend... I think you have to spend like 5 rainbow on this thing, basically. We could probably make that work. I don't think I need that sort of attack though. The only reason I would need it is if, I guess if Sages does the pendant, then maybe we could be in trouble. I need to do a bit more experimenting with this card anyway, because I'm not entirely sure how it works. So let's try it. Why not? Lunar Veil is good. So is Tengu's Cell Phone though. Draw 2 more cards in the first turn. Pretty good. Or gain Flawless on the first turn. We're fighting Remelia. I should probably take Flawless. That said, the Cell Phone is really solid for like everything else. No. The Lunar Veil is like only good for Remelia here, but it's good for Remelia. So yeah, we'll take it. Flawless on turn 1 against her does seem like a pretty good deal, so sure. Twist my arm, why don't you? Alright, let's go through this one, see what we get. Also, I guess it means you'll only do 1 damage to me here, so that's good. Ooh, yeah. Hakure Illusion, really good. And add the orbs. And go boop. And hits. And boop. And that's a spirit for the next turn, so yeah. This evasion from the Greys is really a bit of a bummer, but I think we can handle that. We have some blocks, so let's just go... what do we want to do with this turn, actually? That is the question. How much do I guess no, this'll be fine. If we do this, because it exiles as well, we get the extra needle, which I think is good. Swing in with the orb first. Gets accurate damage down, which is good. Then we could use the needles to kind of like punch through the Greys a bit here. Still got to punch through this one a bit more, unfortunately. It is a very irritating attack to deal with. Let's just do it that way then. We'll hit both times with that. I would have loved to have just swung here, but use our Dupion. Looks really, really cool. And we do gain the firepower and the spirit too, so there is that. Is it worth... The needle's gonna do... Yeah, it probably is worth it, because the needle's gonna do a lot here as well. So if we use both of those, we can actually just take out the Wolf Tengu. So now we don't have vulnerable on this too, which is good. We should just be able to take out our frenemy over here this turn. Seems like it. Block up. Probably didn't need to do that, but whatever. Gain us 6 life whilst we're here. Let's do this one first, actually, because I want to see if if we get... we could just kill with this, right? 30 health, this does down to 33, this goes to 20, yep, 25, and take her out with the exorcism. It's a very weird card to have, to be honest, but yeah, it's just a weird card to have. I ain't got anything else to add to that. Fist of the Hakurei is surprisingly good with our setup here. We have a lot of firepower stuff, a lot more than I would have expected. 30 accurate damage, but it increases 6-fold with your firepower, not one time. So our base firepower versus Rumelia, it's going to do 48, and that's before we add extra buffs to it as well. Maybe it's a bit overzealous, but it is accurate, which is really good against Rumelia as well. I'll take it. I've got too many big attacks at this point, but it's fine. Oh, hello. Yeah, I will pay for the upgraded card, I think. We will go for Reimu cards, we will go for mono color, and you gave it to me. Beautiful. I've been hoping for this card the entire time. So, Secret Border is what Exorcising Border used to be. Or at least it's what Exercising Border is what Secret Border used to be, I should say. This one now is an AoE effect. It's a 5 mana card, so it is expensive. If you don't upgrade it, it's 2 white and 3 regular for 16 AoE, which is, yeah, a lot. But you get to gain an orb as well, and for each Ying-Yang Orb that's already been played, or already available, you take less mana to play this card. So for us, this is going to be pay 1 white mana and do like a ton of damage and gain an orb. So yeah, that is worth it. Let's save the money for the final place, to be honest, because I don't have enough to do everything I would want anyway. And we will go, I don't know, probably just this. Get more vulnerable damage, right? Clown piece. Okay, it's good to have AoE against her. Okay, so not an amazing opening hand, but I think this is where it's worth actually testing this out. So I think, what do we need to use for this? It's gonna be... I mean, it's not as much damage though, is the thing, right? But if I can get firepower and spirit out of it, I think we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if this gives us the spirit here. It did! Okay, because we spent 2 rainbow, so the rainbow counted as green and blue in this case. Okay, that is good to know. Now we can spend that rainbow, and we have 60 damage off of this because we have 5 firepower off of it. That seems pretty good to me. Sorry, a slime because it only costs 1. Fantastic. Okay, I think that was a pretty productive opening turn for us here. Would have liked to have kept rainbow for, you know, the next turn here, but we do have this. So here's the little trick that we can do with this. If we add the 2 orbs to hand here, this now costs 2 less to play because these orbs are in the battlefield. So we'll now do this card. Do we want to get rid of this? I think we want to get rid of that mana as well, right? And use this to do 30 to everything because we've got like 10 firepower this turn. And we can add this one to the hand, which will now do 18 to each enemy. Twice. Takes a lot of pressure off here. Next, for our next magic trick, I think we want to do this one. Take that fairy out. And go, we don't need that. This is no use this turn because she's gonna graze, she ignores graze. Probably don't need that because I can just play the orbs, so we'll just have this already around, I guess. And yeah, we'll just play the orbs. Gaining 12 barrier is really nice here too. Not gonna lie, very, very big fan of that. I don't think I need to use Gap Lady here, because we already have so much damage down on her, and this is just over anyway, I think, so we'll be fine. Illusion into Celestial Flight, into probably this one just to get the health back, and we can start like... I mean, I suppose I should probably do this as well first. Into that, so now we can get more firepower. Maybe that damage is gonna matter? I don't know. Huh. I don't think we've got time to cast this one, to be honest. Just the orb. It's just not necessary to cast it, that's why we don't have time. Yeah. This deck is actually working out super well. Oil is not great, to be honest. It's the black mana. Really not a great time for it, because we only have like one fight left for it, so yeah. Alrighty, probably looking at using one of the skills here. Exercising Border makes some sense, because it does exile as well. Devil's Codex is pretty good. We use this in the Marissa run, and if we upgrade it, it costs just 1 black mana to use, which is solid. Exile a couple of cards, get a couple of needles, get some draw off of it, get extra mana the first time you play it, so there's a lot to benefit from there. True Majesty, because it's upgraded, is pretty respectable, because you just we'll get to weaken Remelia on the first turn. That's also really good. And then Yokai Buster also just applies weakening for the turn, which is nice. Revive the Saint I don't really put too much stock in, because I think this card is just too expensive, to be honest. Being a synergy card, like, it's an interesting effect, but man, you've got to put a lot of mana into this to make it worthwhile. So yeah, despite it being a rare, I don't really think it's that amazing. I think I need to consult how many... I think I might want Devil's Codex, actually. Because I do have a lot of, like, expensive attacking cards and stuff at this point. And having another skill that could exile this because it's not going to be needed, yeah, I think we'll take that. And just upgrade that for the final fight here. So, yeah. 1 mana, exile a card, draw 2. Gain mana back as well. Seems good to me. And I think it's going to come in handy on this very first turn here too. We'll see. Okay, remember, we can only play 7 cards per turn. Actually, have we even seen Remelia yet? I don't know if we have. Her gimmick is that you can only play a few cards per turn. This used to be 5 cards across the board, and it was an absolute nightmare dealing with it, even on normal. But they have changed it so that it's only 7 now. The thing is, she does a lot of vulnerable as well, so she's going to do an absolute crap ton of damage to us here, which is not amazing. Also, she starts with Graze, and she will gain Graze quite often during the fight, so that's something else to look out for. Let's gain Graze ourselves, speaking on, and we do get Hakure Illusion. Okay. Seems good. Codex is worth playing here at the very least. We get that going. We definitely want to Majesty. Now the problem is I don't have any actual mana left, right? So even if I use this, I can't get the rest of the stuff. I maybe could have Celestial Flighted first. Didn't really think that through, I suppose. That's kind of my bad. I think I do want to just use the bomb here. As annoying as it is, it's just I want to make sure I don't take that much damage. So, yeah. And we'll go just use the 2 needles, get the Graze away, and that's going to be turnover because we don't have another card we can play on 0 mana. But that's fine. I should put Frail, not Weaken. Oh, not Vulnerable. That's actually really good because we can handle that. I can gain Barrier enough to take that on. Okay. Do our draw. Go apply Vulnerable. so we can do obscene amounts of damage, to be honest, with, yeah, we don't have enough to... Oh, no, we do. Right. Use the occult. We're on 4 cards left that we can play. Go for the orb. Do get a little bit of money off the oil, that's fine. And then we want to do Fist of the Hakurai, 204 damage, because she does have vulnerable on. Oh boy, that is so much. Finally, I mean, we've got a mana spare, we'll use that. And she is already going, instead of doing her Gungnir now, she's going immediately to recovery mode, because, yeah, we've overtaxed her. So, this turn she's going to have Flawless, and recover from the vulnerable immediately. But yeah, she has Flawless this turn, so she only takes 1 damage, and now the extra gimmick to her, apart from the fact that she's just healed a little bit, is that she recovers life for every unblocked damage that you do. She is a vampire after all, right? We see the vampire bats normally, she can do the same thing. So, that makes this a little bit taxing, because we are still under frail here. We are blocking less than we normally would. Ah, dear. One of these days, eh? Right, anyway. How do we solve that conundrum? Under 7 cards here is the thing. I kind of want to do the Intense Rainbow one, because I think that might be the finisher here, but if I do that, I'm not going to have enough mana to gain the defense I need. I don't need that much defense, but I have to generate that defense first. Still, I think this might be worth it. So we'll gain our firepower, add the orbs to the hand. We are overdrawn, so we can't get the needle, but that's fine. And we will simply gain our defense here. Thankfully, we do have an extra spirit because of the attacks that we've used. Speaking of which, even though we can't actually like damage her here, it is still best to use the defense, like the thing first, because we gain an extra spirit, so we gain more block. And probably the best final card to use here is Slice of Life, just to get rid of it more than anything. But yeah, also we gain an extra card, so we gain a bit more block there. Right, and now with our hand being too full, constant problem, I know, let's probably kill her this turn, to be honest. I think it's plausible, because we have Close Eye Shot, 21 damage 4 times. That gets through the Greys, and then 25 twice from our barrier. Maybe it's not quite doable. It's really close though. We have Triple Needle that we can do. Oh no, it is! 23 damage from Triple Needle. Turns out, generating a ton of needles is a pretty good strategy. Who would have guessed? Okay, Remelia is red aligned, so that is her main one here. The Stone of Azure, I mean, gain firepower every turn. That's a card that exists. Getting an extra blue mana, I mean, this would be really funny because we've got so many different colors at this point. Replace up to 2 cards in the library with random uncommons and random rares. We could turn our basic blocks into useful stuff, potentially. That's probably what I'm going to take, actually. Even though it's just funny, right? We're being a Rainbow Shrine Maiden this time. And then the old style Miko costume, again, we had this option last time around as well. There's only about 3 different exhibits, I think, that give each color of mana right now. Yeah, 2 block for each upgraded card in hand, sure. I'm going to take the blue one, because I think it'd be funny. Not necessarily the best, but I think it'd be funny. So that's what we'll do. I have a lot of attacks, actually. I should probably get rid of these ones. Yeah, we will. Okay, not the best. Deep Memories and... which one was it? Yeah, Glorious Treasure Spear. Not particularly good, but sometimes you gamble, sometimes you don't get the good stuff. Well then, I don't know what to take. Okay, so, Faithful Meditation I think is what I will take, because this is the card that I wanted this entire time. Whenever Reimu adds a card during this combat, upgrade it. The upgraded Ying-Yang Orb only costs 1 mana, so you can spam a lot more attacks with that. Also adds a Ying-Yang to the hand. When you upgrade this, which we now have 2 chances to do, it does not decrease the cost, but it adds a second orb to the hand and it gives you innate, so you always start with this. Absolutely 100% the way that we want to go. But the other options are definitely super tempting here as well. Crossing the border is, I mean, we've mentioned this before, but it is interesting, especially when upgraded just 1 mana, gain 5 barrier, so just gaining barrier outright is pretty good, and then gain a card from your exile pile back, that's good. Filthless World is probably the single strongest card in the entire game, but we just don't need it here, to be honest. We're not really running on big color stuff that much. At the start of each of your turns, 1 random card in hand gains pure this combat. 2 random cards when you upgrade it, which we would obviously do. The only reason we don't see this very often, by the way, you need 2 colorless to pay for this. So unless you get the Lunar Soil or Junko's Event, you basically never find this card, because you can't pay for it in most decks. We can though, because we have 2 Rainbow, that's the whole point. And then Descendant of the Inchlings, I'm not going to underestimate this one at all, because this actually is stupidly good for our deck too. 2 color for 16 damage, skill cards cost 1 less this turn, upgrade it though, cards cost 1 less this turn. So this could basically make me have, like, not infinite stuff, but very close to it. Because if we had enough of the Yin-Yang orb generator, that would cost 0 because it costs 1 normally, and we could just keep going and going and going and going and going as we have evolution. Gotta take Faithful Meditation out, because upgrading all the stuff that we're adding to hand means they do a lot more damage and take less mana potentially. Yeah, and or, so yeah, very, very happy with that. Spread Amulet is good, but probably a bit too late, to be honest. Dance of Sacred Sakura is kind of interesting, because it this also got buffed actually, because it used, just like the Temple Fair, it used to not give you the firepower immediately when you played it, which was a bit silly. Now it does, so that's pretty good. Maiden's Waltz is also pretty strong. Draw 3, upgrade them all, and if you upgrade this card, then you gain barrier for every card that you already had upgraded when you drew them. So it could be pretty good, good defensive tool as well. I think the best bet here, Tape is actually kind of fun too. Do I have a lot of defense cards that need upgrading, or is it just the basic blocks? Battle Stances actually. Is that worth trying for? 148. I can't afford everything I want, right? No, I can't, because it would be, if I get the Karakasa and the Tape, I can't afford a card upgrade, which is probably not worth the risk. Let's just get the Karakasa, I think, because the 8 block in the first turn is pretty useful, and we will card upgrade Faithful Meditation. Whatever card do I want upgraded, actually? I should probably look at that before we do this. It is most likely, I mean, because I could card remove instead and get rid of probably Ritual Exorcism, because that card's not very good. Yeah, none of the other stuff really needs upgraded that badly. Let's remove the Ritual Exorcism at this point. I took it in case we came across the Lunar Rabbits. We didn't, but you know, it was still worth it anyway, just in case. And nothing else really stands out to me here. I suppose we could take the Tambourine because applying more vulnerable is good, but everything else kind of whatever, so we'll leave and then upgrade Faithful Meditation. So we start with it, we get 2 Ying-Yang Orbs in the hand, and everything is great. Ah, we got Sane Song for it this time. Very nice. Let's see how this fight goes. We don't have full power, which is a bit unfortunate, but I think we'll survive. Obviously, gotta start with Faithful Meditation, get ourselves the upgraded orbs. So now they only cost 1, which is very nice for us. Probably the best way round of doing this then is to go get barrier from 1 orb, put vulnerable on. I don't really need to put vulnerable on again if I'm doing it this way. And then we just go for that. Because she's gonna... Like, it's like 2 vulnerable... No, you know what, we will. Get rid of it. And that means she's gonna be vulnerable until her next item pickup, basically. She did bring the summon. Okay. I wasn't sure, but I suppose that is what we're dealing with now. Alright. Birth the Ying-Yang. Let's get orbs in our hand every turn. And because of Faithful Meditation, they're upgraded orbs every time we use this too, so that's gonna help. I think the first one we want to do is Rabbit Landing, actually, because we want to see, yeah, we do not want to draw this turn. I think the rest of it is probably okay though, so I want to draw it next turn, so I want to make sure that it stays in the deck there. So yeah, maybe a bit of a waste, but it's going to be worth it. Next up, I think we just use the bomb here. It's going to get rid of the crows before they do anything too stupid, and she is doing no damage whatsoever here, so I think we are totally fine at this point. We'll just go ahead and use the orbs and get extra barrier. And our secret border will do the rest. Also, using duplex barrier first because the fox mask could give us more spirit, so we get more barrier off of the other bit. That was the idea. Alright, so much good stuff coming out of this hand. First off, Hakurai Illusion. So now every time we exile the thing, we are going to get the upgraded, useful stuff for us. We need to Gap Lady at some point during this turn because we want to be able to Celestial Flight too. How do we do this then? We are going to probably just use the orb here. Gets us the needle, which we'll use the needle. You can see just how much barrier we've managed to generate with this already, by the way. And this isn't even the best version of the deck. Imagine if we had the Edge of Fantasy here as well, where every every time we exile a card, we gain block as well. We'd literally be unkillable. It'd be pretty fantastic. I think probably this is the time to Gap Lady. We're not really going to get full everything out of it anyway, so we might as well just do it now. Oh, Deep Memories is on Instinct. That's really good. Leaky Ladle could mess that up if I don't use it now. Yeah, alright. What are we going to get back? Full Moon Howl? That's pretty strong. Duplex Barrier is pretty good too, though. Sure. That seems good. We do not get the extra draws off a Leaky Ladle. That's what the hand is due full prompt was for there. Alright, that's fine. Gain our Rainbow. Go ahead and do 22, 42 because vulnerable, obviously. We're pretty close. We're getting pretty close in terms of the limit here. Might need to start attacking the Keystone, to be honest. It's pretty funny to think about that we're like that sort of range with it. Yeah, because we only need like 110 damage from here. We can totally make that. Let's go for True Majesty, I think, here as well. Get the extra needle. Still got 50 barriers, so we've still got a lot to work with here. We'll gain more by the end of the turn, I think. Just trying to think through the rest of how this is going to go. And I think we just want to Codex to exile this. Draws 2, also gets a lot of good stuff here, actually. Okay, let's just use all the rainbow for this, actually, is probably for the best. So 31 to both. Takes out that guy without any issue anyway. This is the upgraded rainbow now, and we gain our extra firepower and spirit, so we'll have even more to play with in a minute. And yeah, she's only going to take 2 more damage, so not a lot to really do with that. I think Mizamaru is probably worth playing then at this point. And grab whatever this is going to be, it's going to be this one, I think. And then she can't take any more damage, but we could still get some orbs going, I suppose, so we'll do that. There's so many needles here too that might actually end up being a problem. I cannot play all of these needles. I'm gonna do this just so I can get some extra barrier as well. And yeah, the nice thing about having so much spirit here is that Mizumaru is gonna, I think, give us extra, because I think she works with spirit. I actually don't know. We'll have to find out on that one. Yeah, we're gonna like not draw many new cards next turn. I think that's okay, because we got so many needles here, do so much extra damage with that, and we have this now, so bonus, even more firepower. This is very silly at this point. Tons block. We can't play any more cards because we can't play this thing. We could generate some orbs though, so that's probably what we'll do. If we need to, that is, because these are doing 60 a pop. My goodness, that is a lot for 0 mana needle. Yeah, Reimu B, ability specialist. I think that's probably the best way to. You can still use these with Reimu A as well, but I think B just makes it so much easier to do that stuff. Because the extra white mana does tend to play well, because you don't get to do Faithful Meditation with Reimu A because it costs 3 white mana, and that's really kind of important for this sort of setup to work. So, yeah, that's Reimu B in a nutshell. She's a lot more playable than she used to be, that's for sure. And yeah, just don't get hit, basically, right? Is most of it. Worked out pretty well. So yeah, this is not the only run I've done in this recently too, and this last one, a couple of cards I didn't get to show that I think would be worth noting here is mostly, like some of these you would think are really crazy, like the Luna, I really want to show a Luna Rainbow Market run at some point, but we just haven't got there yet. Edge of Fantasy is one of the main ones that I wish we could have had, but it just wasn't in the cards, literally. But yeah, whenever a card gets exiled, you gain blocks, so you just literally become unkillable when this is the third part to it. And the other one is the Great Hakure border thing, wherever that's gone. Oh, Ying-Yang Rune is actually pretty good too, this is worth noting. So you do lose a life to use it, but whenever you add an orb to the hand, you gain temporary firepower and spirit. It gets stronger for every one of these you spam. Which this is just what it's supposed to be for. I cannot find the card in here. I don't know why. Good lord. I mean, this was just ability centric. The deck, it was great. But there was one more. Where's it gone? I'm wasting too much time with it here, I know, but I really want to show. Maybe did I just not have it? No, it's right down the bottom. I'm silly. The Great Hakure Barrier. We did see this at near the start, but just couldn't get it because it was not worth it at the time. But yeah, for the rest of combat, your block is converted to barrier. So combine this with Edge of Fantasy, and every exiled card gives you 3 barrier. And you exile, as you saw, all of the orbs, which then generate needles, and those needles also exile. And you just do so much with so little. It's actually unbelievably powerful. So, yeah, very fun setup. I really do like. Hakure Illusion is a surprisingly good card, despite how expensive it is. And yeah, Reimu B has a playstyle now, and it's a really good one too. I really enjoy this. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it too. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care.